Hi, everyone. So who came to do some really great yoga this weekend? Yeah. There is going to be some pretty amazing teachers of all styles. So if you get a chance to experience whatever it is that you've come for, I'm sure it'll be here for you. Many of us came to this conference because we already do a lot of yoga, and we kind of want to do some more. Or sometimes we don't do enough yoga, and so we come to these kind of conferences so that we can be inspired to get back on our mats and be renewed. We come to these conferences because we want to see our favorite teachers and practice with them, or maybe we have some elusive teacher that you've never practiced with before and you've just got to try their class. And so these conferences that we attend give us that gift to be able to just do what we love, do the yoga. We're hungry for it. And we think of the practice, we talk about the practice of doing the yoga. It's something that we put on our list. It's something that we do at the end of our day or at the beginning of our day, and we need it, we crave it. It's the doing of the yoga that is what we have to do. But really, when we look at what yoga really is, it's an opportunity, more so than anything else, to examine ourselves. So it becomes less about the doing and maybe a little bit more about the being. We get to examine what's true for us on our mat each and every day, every time we show up to it. We get to reconsider how we interact with the people around us, the people we love, the people we don't know yet. It's an invitation. Yoga is an invitation to be a better human being sometimes, and even to interact with our world in a completely different way. And sometimes I feel like when I roll my yoga mat out, I don't know if anybody else has this experience, but I roll my yoga mat out, and this yoga mat sometimes represents for me kind of a trap door. It's like if I open up that trap door and you dive inside and you go Alice down the rabbit hole, there's so much more there for you than perhaps just the postures, just the asanas that we do on the mat. We can delve deep into that mind, and we might find where the intersections of history and story connect, or philosophy and physiology, even mythology and astrology, science and mysticism, sound and silence, movement and meditation. All these things can be found on our mats. And it's through yoga that we seek unity. We identify the threads that draw us together, and to craft a more tightly bonded weave so that we merge with more resiliency, more understanding, more humanity, more compassion, more enthusiasm. So for those of us who are curious and willing, we are called to evolve beyond the doing of yoga into being yoga. And to me, this is what this particular conference is all about, is that we move beyond simply just the doing of the practice on our mats into this transformation. So in some ways, for many of us, we come to yoga for the asana, but we stay for the revolution, because that revolution starts from within, and as it bubbles up and we become the ripple effect, we create a more peaceful world. So I'm going to ask you this in a slightly different way. Yes, we came here to do yoga, but who came to this conference to change the world? Yeah? Hey. And I think that making the leap from just simply doing the asanas on our mats to being fully engaged with our citizenry is what I believe characterizes this specific Victoria Yoga Conference. And for those of you who know the inimitable Carolyn Taylor, I don't even know where she went. There she is. She is yoga, is she not? Is she not the embodiment of compassion? If there is a way for Carolyn to shine the light on someone who is working to change the world, she will find a way to do it. And so to me, this gift of being able to honor our distinguished teacher in the community, as well as the recipient of the Breathe for Life Scholarship, is the beating heart of this yoga conference. Carolyn established this conference so that she could assemble a summit of individuals who are working in their local communities in some way, big or small, to change the world. And this year, I had the honor of chairing the committee to shortlist the individuals for the recipients of the awards and scholarships. And I was not alone. I know that there are members of the committee who are here. Do you want to come up and join me? Maybe? Tracy Noseworthy, are you here? Also, Tracy Noseworthy has the distinction of being the very first recipient of the Distinguished Teacher Award from last year. And our other lovely Tracy Chetna Boyd. I know you're here. I came in with you. There she is. And Mr. Guy Friswell. Where are you? There you are. Yay. And of course, Carolyn, you're going to stay in the shadows because that's where you like to be. You like to shine the light on everyone else while you sit. Okay, and Carolyn, of course. And the final member of our committee was Ginny Dennehy, who is the founder of the Kelty Patrick Dennehy Foundation. So this yes. She could not join us this evening, so. But these fine folks, we are all teaching at the conference this weekend, so if you happen to check out the schedule, you might want to come and hang out with some of us. And so to get on with the awards, so the first is the 2018 Breathe for Life. Are you leaving me? All right. They're leaving me. So the first is the 2018 Breathe for Life Scholarship. And when I think about the Breathe for Life Scholarship, I think about this as the future of yoga, the future of being yoga. And for those of you who don't know about the Breathe for Life Scholarship, after losing their beloved son Kelty to suicide in 2003, Ginny and Carrie Dennehy chose to honor his memory by establishing the Kelty Patrick Dennehy Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing mental health resources for young people. In 2009, tragedy struck the Dennehy's once more when Kelty's sister Riley suffered a fatal heart attack following a course of medication to alleviate the pain from a separated shoulder. At the time of Riley's passing, she had been attending yoga teacher training in Thailand. And for Riley, yoga was a major factor in healing from the loss of her beloved brother, which had triggered her own depression, substance use, and an eating disorder. So the Breathe for Life Scholarship is offered by the Kelty Patrick Dennehy Foundation in memory of Riley Dennehy. The $1,000 scholarship is awarded each year at the Victoria Yoga Conference to a yoga teacher who is dedicated to deepening their knowledge of yoga and dedicated to helping themselves and others address grief and the devastation of dreams. The recipient of this scholarship demonstrates this concept of being yoga and embodies the future of yoga as a means for changing the world. And this year, there were so many worthy applicants. I think we had over 20 submissions, of people who are working to change their worlds in some way, that the Kelty Patrick Dennehy Foundation chose to honor not one, but 2 recipients for the scholarship. So that's pretty amazing. So the first of the 2 $1,000 scholarships goes to Heidi McPherson. Where is she? There she is. So as she's coming up to the stage, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Heidi. So after being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, Heidi discovered the combined healing powers of yoga, music, and art. And she's eager to offer these gifts to those experiencing loss and illness in her community of Tofino, BC. Heidi is a yoga teacher. She's a composer. She's a musician who must feel right at home in this conservatory. She's a piano teacher. She's also a glass artist. She unites her many passions for the benefit of her students and donates proceeds from her glassworks to the Pacific Rim Hospice and the Kelty Patrick Dennehy Foundation. With her scholarship, Heidi plans to deepen her commitment to yoga and music therapy in order to serve her community more broadly, to bring about healing and self-care for the residents of the Pacific Rim Hospice and their families, for the First Nations communities in the area, for at-risk youth, and for single mothers. So, Heidi, who wasn't even gonna come tonight, we can wait. So congratulations, Heidi. And the second recipient of the 2018 Breathe for Life Scholarship is Rosie Johnny Mills. There she is. And Rosie, as she comes up on stage, you will see she's got about a 1,000-watt smile. As the child of residential school survivors, the legacy of intergenerational trauma runs deep in Rosie's family and in her community. Rosie's ancestral Haida and Hinipson, did I say that right? Hinipson roots anchor her solidly to BC's Pacific coast. She does currently reside in Lillooet. She discovered yoga as a complementary healing practice that merged symbiotically with her traditional self-care practices and now offers restorative and hatha yoga to the elders of her community, many of whom suffer from PTSD. With her Breathe for Life scholarship, Rosie plans to complete her pre- and postnatal yoga teacher training so that she may support birthing rituals for women in her maternal ancestral home on Haida Gwaii. So I'm honored to present this scholarship to Rosie. Did I tell you? 1,000-watt smile. And Rosie is going to be teaching restorative and hatha classes over the weekend, so I urge you to check out her offerings.